Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the Town of Rhinebeck Planning Board to order. I believe that the agenda stands as written. Could I hear a motion to accept the planning consultant's meeting notes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Excellent. We will be reviewing minutes at another meeting. I do not have any correspondence or anything else to mention to anybody. Anyone else have anything they want to bring up before our first public hearing at 6:35? Hearing nothing. I don't think there's anything else we can do here until then. No, there isn't. Any thoughts?
Yeah, you could do the, I think you could do the CSI
Oh,
extension.
okay, we'll do that.
No reason not to do that.
We have received in a timely manner a written request from CSI for a, I think we put it, they're entitled to a 1-year extension on their approvals from us. And they have submitted a written request for such, so.
1-year extension from November?
From May, they expire this month.
Yeah, then that extension is granted in 6-month increments.
Yeah. 6-month increments, or you want to just do it for a year?
No, do a requested increment of 6 months,
Okay.
which is appropriate.
Actually, they didn't specify whether they want 6 months or a year in the letter. That's cool. Could I hear a motion to grant the extension?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Anyone want to grumble? All in favor? Any opposed? Very good, thank you. All righty.
Seeing that we have 3 minutes.
Yes.
What happened with the last, speaking of 6-month extension, what happened with the 6-month leave?
Moratorium.
They passed the moratorium for 6 months, and the town board has decided initially to refer the lead issue, and as it stands in the zoning, to the zoning task force that's been established. It's me, Dave Baldoff, John Lyons, Tom Trout, and Elizabeth Spinzia to sort of see where we go with that and who we're going to task with it. And the CEO is a certified lead architect, and he's been tasked with trying to report back to the town board what's entailed in bringing people up to date, training, how we would administer it, how we could administer it, if there are alternatives that we'd rather have. So that's where it stands right now. We'll see what comes out of that. Should have drawn that a little
You
more.
could have. So if we're not ready, we can just extend it another 6 months?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm not entirely sure what we're going to find on all that.
20 applications before us, we're good to go.
We're clean, yeah. No one's not burned with that at the moment.
Anything else, Dan?
I have heard nothing further. We talked with, I think, basically they're still working on the archaeology.
They're in archaeology.
They're doing the phase 2.
Project is living, but they're working on archaeology.
I don't know of any other issues. That's the only one I can think of.
No, I communicated with project engineer recently, within the last week or 10 days.
I think if they have to, or trying to figure out what's in this one spot that's potentially a hot spot.
It was where they were looking for some parking.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a question of establishing
Batteries.
what they have to avoid. Very similar to the town park situation.
I think there were 7 sites and 6 are okay, and there was this one that was a potential site issue. Oh, I think we have 30 seconds to go.
And do we have anything on town park?
No, we're still, they've asked me to meet with them, I think Wednesday night, about the fiscal analysis for the secret review, secret report, to try and get some handle on what it's going to cost. The things that, since it's a taxpayer-funded project, there are aspects of it that the project can be probably didn't worry so much about, but since the taxpayers will be paying for it, maintaining it, we need to have a firm handle on what the costs are, and the project town is going to do that. So hopefully Wednesday night, I'm explaining what I think they need, and they're supposed to come up with something for us when we do the secret review.
It's very close.
Yeah.
And then we'll be scheduling a joint meeting with the village.
As soon as the village and the town planning boards accept their application, we can then put our heads together and set up a joint meeting, a joint public hearing. Okay. Here we go. Our first and our only public hearing this evening is Kirchhoff Properties LLC, New York State, 59 North subdivision plat approval, wetlands permit and site plan approval. Public hearing on application for subdivision plat approval under Town Code Chapter 101, subdivision of land, to create a 2.092 acre building lot from an 11.845 acre lot owned by MHMG KM Rhinebeck LLC, and applications for wetlands permit under Town Code 120, wetlands and site plan approval under Town Code 125, zoning, to authorize proposed construction on the 2.092 acre lot with a 4,200 square foot bank with drive-through, Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, and associated site improvements, including the undertaking of wetlands mitigation in the Community Business South District, being a type 1 action for planning board designated secret lead agency. All is subject to revised plan set submitted April 22nd, 2013.
And for the record, it should be pointed out that Bob has recused himself from this proceeding.
Yes.
Move to the audience.
I thought he didn't want to be on camera. Take it away.
My name again, Richard Rang, with Kirchhoff Properties. I want to first apologize that Larry Boudreau from the Chasing Companies couldn't be here this evening. He had an emergency with his daughter, so you're stuck with me. I believe, well, this is the site plan. I think everyone's familiar with it. We had a series of comment letters that we've responded to, and I think we've adequately addressed each of the comments. I know one issue that you were waiting for was some concurrence from the Army Corps with respect to the delineation, and that was delivered. There was also some question about the water and the sewer, and we have a will serve letter from Stop and Shop Waterworks, Rhinebeck Waterworks Corporation, Stop and Shop Rhinebeck Sewage Works Corporation, acknowledging that they will serve the property. Since it's within the original service area, there's no changes to the original Transportation Corporation documents that were originally filed. Project again, just in summary, it's a 4,225 square foot bank branch located at the northwest corner of the parent parcel. We're subdividing out approximately 2 acres from the approximately 11 acre parcel. The entire project will sit up towards the front of the 2 acre parcel. We'll gain its access through the same access points that currently service the parent parcel. The one issue that we did address with respect to our impact to the wetland buffer is in the form of mitigation by removing the fill material that's placed here between these 2 wetlands and regrading this and planting it out with wetland plants to restore it to wetlands. I believe you have a consultant reviewing the mitigation plan, but we haven't got any comments from him on that
We're
yet.
going to have them doing that.
Okay. That said, I think you're all familiar with the project. This is the architecture, which I think was very nicely done. Seems to complement the existing structures on the property.
Can everyone see the architecture?
Say anything about it?
Sure, well, I know I explained it at the last meeting, but I'll just go over it quickly again. It's a traditional hip roof structure. It has a decorative entrance tower feature which accentuates the customer entrance to the building. All of the material samples are on the board of the actual chips that we'll use. From the grade level to the underside of the window sills at the base of the building is a split face masonry veneer in a beige color. From the window sills to the underside of the roof band is a tangerine red brick veneer. And then the roof band itself is a stucco band, a Y stucco band that helps accentuate the roof quite a bit, and that's the sample here in the light beige color. The roof itself is a standing seam aluminum roof in evergreen color. And then all the doors and the windows are they're aluminum frames and it's champagne anodized finish. And then the glazing itself has a light green tint, which helps really goes nicely with the evergreen roof panels and the Hudson Valley logo and lettering. All of the trim, the miscellaneous details, the columns and all are painted this almond color, which coordinates and matches the stucco of the tower and the cornice band. And that's about it.
Any questions yet? Who did the site visit for the planning?
Richard and I did.
Okay, could you,
We walked the site, we looked at, the roadway that's coming out, trying to understand how to pull that out. So we have a good plan for that, a good handle on that. Really, the only thing that we have to take a look at is really the exit coming out of the, parking lot, just the, sidelines. I think my sense is it'll be okay, but you have, a structure on the Williams property that could possibly block it, but I think it'll be all right. You might have to put some traffic control in just to slow things down a little bit, but other than that, that's good.
In fact, we've actually proposed stop signals coming out, stop sign rather coming out of here, as well as going in the other direction. There already exists a stop sign
Right.
from the village.
and everyone stops there, you know? Oops. Any questions of what we've heard so far? The CAB report?
Yes, hi, we went on the same site visit. Our concerns were the grading that happened over here. And we talked with Ray Jokowski and Eric Kiviat. And they talked about the fact that this grading is down to a fraction of a foot. So it have to be very careful on how it's done, so it didn't impact any of the hydrology in either of these two wetlands. As far as the mitigation plan, we hope to see the report from the expert to see how that plan works. We think this is a great opportunity to repair this wetland. It's been under a lot of pressure, and now it's even under more pressure. So we're happy that Kirchhoff has stepped forward to do this. I guess the main concern again is the grading, the condition of the mitigation plan. We also talked about doing an educational program within the bank itself, putting out pamphlets or some kind of signage as to what the mitigation plan did and how it affected the success of it, so the public would understand, what happened out here.
Okay. It's our intent to have Hudsonia review the mitigation plans, as they're probably the best
That's correct.
we have here.
That's great, that was our
Look
recommendation.
forward to getting their input.
Yeah, now I know that Mr. Kiviat is very familiar with the site.
Mhm.
He's been through it many times, so I think that would be a great choice. I think you'll get some great comments from them.
Good.
Thank you.
Questions from members of the board? Okay, members of the public, any questions, any comments, anything anyone wants to say? Raise your hand now, or hold your peace, so to speak.
Consultant issues.
Consultant issues.
Consultant issues. I've reviewed, I familiarized myself with the Morris Associates report. It appears that Morris is satisfied except for asking about where the location of snow storage is going to be. And I think that's a concern that relates to the wetland. My review identified only one outstanding concern, and that is the question of I think there needs to be a ruling as to the consistency of the proposed site lighting with the lighting standards that are set forth in the zoning law. The zoning law says the average lighting level within a parking lot will be no more than 1 lumen, or 1 foot candle, and that the the lighting within high security areas can be within the range of 2 to 5. It appears that there are areas on that plan where those lighting levels are exceeded.
I did have,
And that's with beyond what is required under the ATM Safety Act. There is specific language that deals with the ATM.
right, I noticed language in there, and they were very specific about making sure that the increased lighting doesn't affect any residential properties and such. I did have Jason's office put together this new lighting plan, which shows a little bit more information, and they color coordinated it so that I can understand it. There's minimum requirement of 5-foot candles within a certain proximity of the ATM itself, and then there's a radius, I think it's 30 feet, that it has to be 2, and then a radius of 60 feet where it has to be 1. We've attempted to try and address that as best we can. The front, I think we've done a fairly good job. The rear area, since the lighting is underneath the canopy, it's more than what is necessary, but it's completely underneath the canopy and they're shining down. But what we did is I had to take the the zero line out, if you could envision that in terms of the lighting that we'd be providing beyond the areas that are necessary. And we have no spill lighting going onto Route 9, and certainly no spill lighting reaching any of the residential zone properties. We also included the illumination provided by the existing on-site lighting to try and get a better understanding of where all of the illumination is going to be on site. And this plan, I think, better reflects what we think we can do. It still exceeds some of the recommended standards by the town, but obviously we had to make sure that we met the ACAM standards.
Anything else?
I don't think there were any other than the review of the water mitigation. I don't think there are any other outstanding concerns, other than those that you related to that were raised by the planning board attorney.
We need a wetlands report and also that we can get that, we can do the permit. We can't do the permit until we get the wetlands report and then all that's signed off on, so.
The mitigation plan?
Right, for that. So I hope to get that in the next few weeks. I spoke with John Lyons today, and we reviewed all the legal documents dealing with sewage, water, the shared services lighting, all that stuff. And he said that what has to happen is that the bank and that property has to be written into those easements. There's letters saying, yes, we have enough sewage capacity, enough water, and things like that. But legally, the bank, since it runs with the property, it's a separate property now, that needs to be written into those easements as well, which hasn't apparently happened yet.
Actually, we are in the process of putting together a third amendment to the declaration of easements across easements to address the issues with the bank and the maintenance of the bank. We maintain their parking lot. So all of that is in the works right now.
Okay, good, because I'll need that before I can stamp and sign. That can be a condition of approval, but the one thing that can't be a condition of approval is just the approval of the mitigation plan for the wetland permit.
Okay.
But that's, hopefully we'll have
That
that.
can't be a condition of approval?
No, because the wetland permit, we can do conditions of approval, like if we were to approve the site plan right now, then we have conditions for a stamp and sign. But if we approve the wetland permit, then you have the wetland permit. That's not a matter of them signing it. So we need to have that mitigation plan approved by our consultant.
Okay, but that would only affect the wetland permit, not
Correct.
necessarily the site plan or subdivision application. Now we can get a conditional approval.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
And hopefully we'll have that so that we can do the conditional approval, hopefully at our next meeting.
I'd like to get comments so we can make sure that we get them addressed as soon as possible. If there are changes to be made, so we can get and satisfy all the conditions of both the subdivision site plan as well as the wetland permit.
My understanding is that Morris has signed off on the engineering issues. I saw the letter from the Army Corps saying the delineation of the wetlands was fine. They're not giving us a JD, they don't need to, since something's going in the wetland and they don't do buffers, we don't need a JD from the Army Corps. I don't think there was anything else. Well, that slipped my mind. So if for any reason you need any further clarification on what the easements have to have, anything like that, I can have John put just a little letter list together for you, right?
Yeah, that would be helpful, just to make sure that what we do draft does.
Because I gave him all the documents we have to review, and this is what I spoke with him today about that. So, anyone else on the board have any questions? What we'll do is we'll continue the public hearing to our next meeting, then we can wrap everything up.
Are you gonna hold the public hearing open?
We'll hold it open.
I was hoping to close it.
Well, not to worry. It seems everything's going along smoothly. Yes, sir.
What I suggest, start off, the public hearing has to be held open because the secret determination has not been made. And until the secret determination is made, the applications are technically incomplete.
Okay.
So consequently, what I would ask the board is whether the board concurs with my observation that there are no potential significant adverse environmental issues associated with this project. The board concur with that? Okay. As long as the board concurs with that, then I think what the board can do is authorize me to prepare a negative declaration and a draft approvals resolution for consideration at the next meeting.
For both subdivisions?
For everything that's involved.
Okay.
And hopefully, in the interim, the wetlands mitigation plan will have been reviewed, and any comments that are on that plan will have been responded to by the applicant.
We can have the CAB look at the wetlands mitigation, whatever Eric sends out, we can have them look at as well. We should have that, hopefully, since he is familiar with the area, it should not be a long
So that's
process.
so that's what I would suggest you authorize and obviously continue the hearing at 6:35 on the June 3rd meeting.
Okay, so no authorization has been given to previously to prepare the resolutions for secret determination or site plan subdivision?
Would
So
be
you wouldn't be able to take action on any of those?
That's right.
Okay, you heard what Art suggested. We need a clarification, a restatement. And what we do is we would have the public hearing on June 3rd, I believe is our next meeting, at 6:35 p.m.
And that is strictly for purposes of the secret documentation.
What was the date on that meeting?
I believe it's
June 3rd.
June
I think it's
3rd.
June 3rd, is it not?
It's that first Monday, whatever that first Monday is. I think it's June 3rd.
My wife is going to be very upset.
Well, you don't have to come. You came
Bring
this
her.
time.
Bring her number.
It's early, you're right, fast.
Right.
Birthday or anniversary?
Ah, well.
Okay.
Did I hear a motion to approve the motion? Second? All in favor? Thank you.
All right, so Mark's been authorized to produce the
Yes.
resolution that we need to take this up.
And we'll have Ansonia reviewing that, and the CAB will be reviewing Ansonia's review of that, and that will all be presented at the conclusion of the public hearing just to finalize all of that. In which case, we'll do the secret determination, and then we'll have the approval resolution.
Okay, very good. Can I ask the board to contact your wetland consultant to see if I can get something from him as soon as possible?
Yes, I will be speaking with him tomorrow.
Perfect, thank you very much, I appreciate everyone's.
You're very welcome. And please wish your wife a happy birthday.
I'll bring it up.
And with our apologies. Okay, next on the list. Ramapo for Children, Camp Ramapo Road off Salisbury Turnpike, wetlands permit and site plan approval. Presentation of application for wetlands permit under Town Code Chapter 120, wetlands and application for site plan approval under Town Code Chapter 125 zoning. Section 125-74 to authorize proposed construction of a 6,240 square foot staff residential building and a 4,375 square foot multi-use building and associated site improvements within the Anchorage area of the 250-acre camp property in the rural countryside RC5 district as subject of revised set plan set dated April 19, 2013. Planning board review and processing operations may be timely under town code and secret. All right. Fire away.
Pete Sotero, engineer for the project, on Morris Associates. Would you rather I just stay here, or do you want to put this on the
You can put
board?
it on the board, it might be easier. And just for the record to show that Bob has returned to the fold.
Actually, you can leave it right there because only
Yeah,
one.
that's good. You're right. That's
Well,
good.
I'd rather
Only
just-
words in the audience.
I'll just go home, because I'd rather that everyone's a little closer. Okay, I think the last meeting, Tom Harvey from my office was here. That generally explained the project. We're going to be deconstructing an approximately 6,000 square foot residential building right here in this area, in the Anchorage section. That'll be replacing an existing residential building currently there on the site. We're also going to be constructing approximately 4,200 square foot multi-purpose building, which is going to be located on where the existing basketball court is now. So we have some improvements on the site plan. We're going to be making some improvements to the accesses here. We have already drilled our new well. I believe that they were pump testing today. Okay. So we're going to be working with the Dutchess County Department of Health on that. Since the last meeting, we have received a letter from Art. We made some changes to the plan and several of the applications. Based upon that, we revised the long environmental assessment form, and we also updated the site plan application. One of the things that we had added here was we put a chart on the plan which has summarized the amount of disturbance that's within the wetland buffer. So right now we've got two areas. We've got area A, which is wetland area A over here, and then wetland area B here. Again, both of these on either side of the current access drive. Now, for Area A, the wetland buffer disturbance is approximately 11,000 square feet, and the area B is approximately 8,000. We also had documented the amount of impervious cover within each of those areas. Area A has approximately 6,000 square feet, and Area B has approximately 2,000. We also added to the plan an area that showed some wetland enhancement. What we had thought that we would do is behind the new multi-purpose building area, that we would come up with a plan that had some native plantings all around the back of the building and up here along the side. And then also to incorporate two rain gardens that would primarily handle the roof runoff from the residential building. So we have not actually prepared that plan yet. We want to authorize our consultant to do that, but I didn't know if we would get any feedback, in terms of if this was going to be acceptable, before we authorize the consultant, to go ahead with that. Those are primarily, the major changes that we made since the last submission. So that
Okay, I think in terms of the mitigation, I think obviously one of the questions is in terms of how the stormwater is handled. I assume it's done in such a way that it's not going into the wetland, just running right off the buildings, things like that, that there's a means of capturing it,
yes.
cleaning it, so to speak, before it migrates.
Yeah, what we had proposed, Mr. Chairman, is in the back of the multi-purpose building, where over half of that roof will be captured by an infiltration trench that's going to capture the runoff coming off, the building. So we're confident that majority of that will infiltrate, but we do have an overflow pipe coming out of that, just in case that the soils can't handle it under very severe rainstorms. And then we also took, because of different peaks here on the residential building, we took those into roof leaders, and those will be piped into the rain gardens. It's not shown on this plan, it's shown on the grade and drainage plan, but we've got several catch basins here right at the entrance to the complex, and some of the roof leaders from the front corners of the building, we're going to be tying those right into the storm drain system, which would outlet over across the road.
What's the existing vegetation in the wetlands right now? Are these herbaceous primarily? Is it woody? Is it?
It's woody. It's a lot of underbrush mostly, right? Correct?
Yeah, it's mostly underbrush. There's not.
I don't think there's a lot of trees, right?
Yeah,
It's mostly just thick underbrush.
Yeah, exactly.
In that area. I don't know if anybody's made a site visit yet. but-
Not yet, no. Probably when the site visit takes place, that'll be one of the things that are looked at, exactly what's the condition of that buffer area in terms of forming some sort of a filtration process before the materials actually get to the wetlands themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, what exactly is there? I mean, some buffers are, very disturbed, there's really nothing there. Some are, still functional, they have the proper plants, things like that. So I think that'll be probably something in terms of mitigation for going to the buffer that we'll be looking at, is exactly what exists now and what might be able to be put in there that could enhance that filtration process if the site is, somewhat changed through use of the property, things of that sort. Other questions? We've contacted Weston and Sampson, and they seem willing to do the engineering at our consultant work, since you guys aren't going to. And I've contacted, well, I think it would create issues. And we've contacted the person we've been using as a delineation. He hasn't gotten back to me yet, Norbert Quinzer. And I haven't heard yet back from him. If I don't hear back from him in a day or two, we'll just have to find someone else to do it.
Now that person is with Weston and Sampson?
No, he's with, what's the firm? It's up in the Albany area.
Bagman Associates.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he's,
Yeah, Mark's firm.
and he's worked with us before and, done a very good job. He just hasn't gotten back to me, and I tried to get in touch with him last week and email him, and I haven't heard back. But, so we do have an engineering consultant who can do that review work, and hopefully we'll get the delineator soon, get that done. And, what else?
Yeah. So what else, I guess, is that I reviewed your revised submission. As far as I'm concerned, it satisfactorily addresses all the comments I offered on the prior submission. And on that basis, I prepared a draft procedural resolution for consideration by the board.
Which I believe I have.
With respect to seeker, the board will be treating this simply as an unlisted action, not a type 1. So therefore, we don't have to go out for coordinated review and all of that sort of thing.
Any questions before I read this? Okey-doke. The Town of Rhinebeck Planning Board hereby acts as follows on the April 19th, 2013 applications by Ramapo for Children, Michael Coonan, Executive Director, for site plan review and approval under Town Code Chapter 125 zoning, and for wetland permit under Town Code Chapter 120 wetlands, to authorize proposed construction of a 6,240 square foot staff residential building and a 4,375 square foot multi-use building and associated site improvements within the Anchorage area of the 350-acre camp property in the Rural Countryside RC5 district, all as depicted or otherwise described in the applications and supporting documents, including a bound set consisting of 6 sheets of engineering drawings prepared by Morris Associates, dated March 18, 2013, and revised to April 19, 2013, and 2 sheets of related architectural drawings, including floor plans, site plan, and elevations prepared by Mazzarella Architecture and Planning, PC, dated March 29, 2013, a DC DOH approval email as to well location, and a full EAF Part 1 certified Mr. Coonan, dated April 17, 2013, with supporting project narrative and other information, including a wetlands and habitat letter report by Ecological Solutions, LLC. 1. Classifies the proposed action as an unlisted action under seeker for which coordinated environmental quality review is not required and will not be conducted. 2. In consideration of the application for a wetland permit under Town Code Chapter 120 wetlands to authorize work involving the development of 7,842 square foot of impervious surface, consisting of most of the proposed 4,375 square foot multipurpose building, the northerly portion of the proposed residential building, and some portions of the proposed gravel roadway within an overall 19,441 square foot area of wetland buffer disturbance. A. Accepts the application inclusive of the above cited engineering drawings by Morris Associates and letter report by Ecological Solutions, LLC, as adequate for planning board consult and public review. And B. Authorizes the chairman to engage with the concurrence of and at the expense of the applicant, a wetland specialist, to review in the absence of a jurisdictional determination, JD letter from the USACOE, the underlying wetland delineation, and to further review the proposed mitigation plan and the sufficiency of measures to protect the on-site wetlands and recommend, if any additional measures that may be appropriate. 3. In consideration of the application for site plan review and approval under Town Code Chapter 125 zoning, accepts the application as adequate for planning board and consultant and public review. 4. Refers the application for site plan review and approval to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development for review and advisory report in accordance with the requirements of Section 239I and M of the General Municipal Law. 5. Refers the applications to the Town Conservation Advisory Board for review and comment. 6. Due to the conflicted position of the planning board engineer with respect to this project, refers the application for site plan approval to acting planning board engineer Weston and Sampson for technical review and comment. 7. Schedules a combined public hearing on the applications for Monday, June 3rd, 2013 at 6:45 p.m. and directs the clerk, with the assistance of the planning board consultant, to provide or otherwise cause notice and posting thereof pursuant to the more stringent of the requirements set forth within the Town Code Chapter 120 wetlands and or Town Code Chapter 125 zoning, and delegates. Who wants to go on a visit? Sharon. Who else really wants to go on a visit? Bob. Excellent. To conduct a field visit to the project site and report their observations at the time of public hearing. Okay. Could I hear a motion to approve? Could I hear a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. And none opposed, I trust. So you want to get in touch with Sharon and Bob about a site visit?
Should we
And
get in touch with them, and then we go on the field visit again?
right.
Yes.
We're
You'll
sitting on
schedule
the
it.
other side.
I know. So you'll schedule it and tell the CAB, and they'll go as well. I'm going to try and get Norbert. If I can't get Norbert, I'll get someone else.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, before he gets involved, Peter and his folks should get the wetlands mitigation plan prepared.
Well,
Right.
that's what I was gonna ask, is
Yeah.
that something that we should do?
Yeah, if you, yeah, I would think
Maybe
so.
just a concept together?
Yes.
Or, so that.
So he's got something to
so that
review.
they can have to look at when they make the field.
Yeah.
How about that?
Exactly.
Okay.
And also so that, yeah, because Norbert also is probably the one who will be reviewing it for the mitigation value, things of that sort. And as we said to the previous applicant, we need to have the mitigation plan approvable by the planning board before we can give the wetland permit, since we can't do a conditional approval.
Is Michael doing that or someone else?
Michael Nowicki did your delineation.
Michael will do it, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if the site meeting, if the site visit gets coordinated through you.
10 o'clock Saturday.
Next Saturday.
You want the concept plan prepared?
Wait a minute. Don't you want the concept plan for the
You want-
mitigation plan for the
Yeah.
wetland?
The what?
The concept plan for the wetland mitigation,
Right, that's not ready yet.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, no.
Okay.
Why don't we check with our wetlands consultant and
Right.
we can reconvene on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's,
On
yeah.
the day and time. Okay.
Sounds good.
Was this gonna be referred to the fire department also, or is that?
We weren't going to. You might,
You touch
Yeah.
base, you know.
I will.
Does the planning board need input from
The
the fire department?
planning board
or
typically
that?
does not secure input. Sometimes the CEO does, or the building inspector
Right.
does.
Who's the fire person?
Yeah.
And they actually may need that before they can issue a building permit, the building department. I don't know.
Okay, we just want to make sure that, we reach out to anybody who has some
Yeah.
input into the planning board process, and also obviously to make sure, I don't think there's any issues with, fire access. It's all, wide open, they currently have
Yeah. Right.
access there now,
Right.
but we still wanted, to
Right.
double check. If it's not an issue with somebody, then it's not an issue.
Yeah.
As a matter of routine, it does not occur here,
Yeah.
but it's good for you to touch base.
Okay. So
Any
we
fur-
would just, I assume we would just contact the chief, directly.
And I assume it's the Rhinebeck Fire Department, not Hillside or Rhinecliff.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, all right.
And they're right across the street.
Over there.
They're right there. Okay. Any questions? Everyone's all set for next month? Excellent.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Have a good night.
Okay, moving right along.
Ms. Welch, you're on time? Or we're on time, whatever.
Wait, yeah, we're not doing too bad. William and Maura
We're early.
Zatirovich,
Make
Ackert
it
Hook
look
Road,
early.
subdivision plat approval. Presentation of site resource analysis assessment and application for subdivision plat approval under Town Code, Chapter 101, subdivision of land, in the matter of a proposed 27.405 acre lot line alteration between the lands of Zatirovich and the lands of Lipscomb and Sagara.
Soterovich.
Okay, that works too.
Cigar.
In the, what?
You were right, cigar.
Okay, I got 1 out of 3. In the Rural Countryside District, as subject of survey map dated April 4th, 2013, planning board review and processing of applications may be timely under town, code, and seeker. Marie?
Good evening. Let me get right to next one, he's the one who's here.
Oh. Uh-oh. Well, I didn't, what's the hat?
Good evening. I trust you've all had a chance to look at the plan. It's really fairly straightforward. I believe it's an improvement to the previous conditions when we created that lot where the line jutted out around the carriage house. It was because Mr. Zakirovich was trying to maintain as much land as he could. Now he has talked to the neighbor who owns the carriage house along with the Nancy Kenny mansion property and has decided that they'd like to convey from one owner to the other 27 acre piece of property, which is approximately half of the land that Mr. Zakirovich currently still owns. Mr. Zakiravich's frontage is on Acton Road. There's about 100 feet of frontage for the 27 acres. You may remember the last time we were here, he was trying to further subdivide by putting in a town road. That may have been one of the last times we were here. But, he did a 3-lot subdivision, and that was approved and was filed. And based on that 3-lot subdivision, he had a not approved septic system, but a feasibility study done by an engineer, Berger Engineering Land Surveyor, land surveying. It was in the area of Acton Road, so because he had 3 sites passed on his remaining lands. 2 of those are on the land that's being conveyed to the neighbor, but 1 site is on the land that he's retained, so therefore we feel that that we shouldn't need to go back to Board of Health for a feasibility study because nothing has changed with regards either to their requirements or the soils there. I think I put in my application that I was going to ask for some waivers, and then I forgot to go down through the checklist of what waivers I needed to ask, but I came prepared with a letter all drafted and ready to fill any blanks. The couple of things that we would like a waiver, and I don't know if it can be done, this is next to, adjacent to a land and historic district because of Manson County Mansion. The owners of that property are the ones who are acquiring this land, which is going to improve their property. So I didn't know if we could waive a long form EAF and accept a short EAF, because there is really going to be no environmental impact.
I don't think it's.
Type 1, and it's automatic.
So type 1, so.
Yeah, that's the one deficiency in your submission that I have identified.
Okay.
Oh, except for the question I had, because my interest said, this is not adjacent to an active group.
It is not, we did check.
Yeah, you do, okay, I did not bother to check it, so I brought it up.
The thing that I didn't check, and I think is the land on the south side of us, which is not, I guess one little piece of it borders this land of exchange, belongs to Lockman. And I think their land may be in a conservation easement.
But not in an ag district.
Not in the next
Not in an ag
But
district. because we
one of
dealt
the
with
things
that
the
already.
planning board says is providing the conservation easement for adjacent
I
property.
believe at least a portion of it is, not the whole thing.
Right, but I think you also have that, because you probably approved them to do that. That's why I didn't think I didn't have that.
Yeah.
So then I guess getting back to my waiver list, I crossed off the EAF, the long form, because we have to do that. Board of Health approval for water supply for feasibility study, because that had been done previously. I asked we not have to show wetlands and floodplains because they don't affect, they're not affected by this change of ownership. I mean, I did actually print out the GIS, and they show the wetlands further away from the property than it truly is, and some small pockets of federal wetlands.
What I'll do is I'll just, for the sake of the board, I'll just read the waiver section of the subdivision regulations. We'll,
I don't believe that Marie needs any waivers here.
Oh, okay.
I don't either.
I got looking through that list and thinking, oh, yeah, for that, should. And I know, like I said, it's
I
pretty
can't read it.
You can do it.
Want me to read it? They don't want to read it? Okay, I'll read it. The planning board may waive upon specific request and by specific resolution, subject to appropriate conditions and guarantees, and for such period as it may determine the requirements of these regulations, this is the subdivision regulation, relative to the provision and design of any or all required improvements which in its judgment of the special circumstances of a particular plat or plats are not requisite to the interests of public health, safety, and general welfare, or are not appropriate because of inadequacy of lack of connecting facilities adjacent to or in the proximity of the proposed subdivision. And since this is basically not creating new lots, it's basically a land consolidation, it's a lot line alteration, clearly.
it said Article 7, Section 10171, and there's like 14 different things there, so that's why I thought maybe I had.
The checklist too.
But if you don't need them, that's
I
fine.
don't, with this, I don't think you do.
It sounds like the only thing I may need is one.
Long form EAF, yeah. Any questions?
Help me understand, which one, who owns the house now? The house
Chris
now?
Lipscomb and Louise Cigar own the mansion at Manson County.
Oh, I just didn't know which one of them.
Yeah, Mr. Security is all vacant land.
Okay.
He has 52 acres of vacant land, and as you've probably looked at the map, it was east of and also south of the Cigar Lipscomb property. So
Just get that driveway.
they're making a nice rectangular shape out of their property now where it had that big hole in it early. Carriages.
Any other questions? I shall read the following. The Town of Rhinebeck Planning Board hereby acts as follows. On the site resource analysis assessment and application for subdivision plat approval under Town Code Chapter 101, subdivision plan, submitted by Marie T. Welch, land surveyor, agent for William Mayer-Satirovich, in the matter of a proposed 27.405 acre lot line alteration between the lands of Satirovich and the lands of Lipscomb and Cigar. In the rural countryside RC5 district, all is depicted on a survey map prepared by Ms. Welch and dated April 4th, 2013, including notation that the 27.405 acres is, quote, land to be combined with adjacent land of Christopher L. Lipscomb and Monica A. Segura, document number 022001-1804, lot 1, file map number 7418A, to to become part and parcel with said lands by consolidation by legal instrument. Accepts site resource assessments analysis as presented. 2, classifies the application as a minor subdivision lot line alteration under Town Code Chapter 101 subdivision of land. 3, classifies the proposed action as a type 1 action under seeker, and that the proposed subdivision involves a property listed on the National Register of Historic Places, and in consideration thereof requires a full EAF Part 1 to be submitted for the short EAF Part 1 heretofore substituted for the short EAF Part 1. 4, deems the planning board the sole agency with discretionary permitting and/or approving authority with respect to the proposed action, and thus declares the planning board to be the secret lead agency for environmental review thereof. 5, accepts the application as complete contingent upon the agent's commitment to follow through with submission of the required full EAF Part 1 not later than May 20th, 2013. 6, in its role as secret lead agency, refers the application, including both the survey map and the accompanying full EAF Part 1 when received, to both the town historian and the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation Field Services Bureau for review and comment. Refers the application to the Town Conservation Advisory Board for review and comment. Scheduled a public hearing on the application for Monday, June 3rd, 2013 at 6:55 p.m. and directs the clerk with the assistance of the planning board consultant to provide or otherwise cause notice and posting thereof pursuant to
the requirements set forth.
To the requirements set forth within the Town Code Chapter 101 subdivision of land. 9, delegates planning board members
I'll take it.
Woody
I'll go.
and Melody to conduct a field visit to the proposed site and report their observations at the time of public hearing. 10, advises the applicant to draft a consolidation or merger deed as will be required for recording the Dutchess County Clerk's Office upon filing of the subdivision plat, if approved, should be prepared to be submitted to the planning board for review as to its sufficiency. 13, due to the limited nature of the matter subject to this application, including the absence of any proposed development, and without prejudice to the planning board's consideration of any input received prior to or at public hearing, authorizes the planning department to prepare working drafts of an EAF Part 2, negative declaration under seeker, and conditional approval resolution for review and consideration by the board on the town. Could I hear a motion to approve? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
Okay, so the roll form the AF by May 20th.
By May 20th, so we can kick it to Parks and Rec, and ask them to turn it around in 10 days.
Do I need additional copies of the map to submit to the historic district, the Parks and Recreation? I mean, I can print it.
2 copies, 2 additional copies.
And you want to coordinate with Melody and Woody, who will coordinate with the CAP for a site visit.
Agree?
Yes.
Okay.
876 1000.
Okay.
Thank you.
Come on down. And last but not least, Laura and Thomas, okay, are you going to? Thank you. See, I've already screwed up enough of these names tonight, I just assume not consult anybody else. 56 Valley Street, special permit and site plan approval. Presentation of applications for special use permit and site plan approval under Town Code Chapter 125 zoning for a proposed addition to a single-family dwelling in the Rhinebeck Hamlet and Rhinebeck Overlay districts, the LWRA and Hudson River National Historic Landmarks District, is subject to architectural plans revised to April 22nd, 2013, planning board review and processing of applications as made in the Town Code and Seeker. Warren.
Very good. Good evening. This is Pitfall Langford Hamlet House, modest, on Kelly Street, in the falls, particular stretches, to which we're putting a modest addition, proposing to put a modest addition on the back. It's a challenging site, as many of them are. It's actually like a triple lot. There's a division down there, but that still doesn't make it a very large lot. And it's on a hill, and right behind it, the hill gets quite a bit steeper. So one of the things you'll notice on the site plan, the proposed addition at the back, which is a studio for Thomas, is going to get it's fairly close to the property line as proposed, but in fact, there's a very steep grade, and the house above has a deck on very tall stilts. So it's a much bigger distance between the two than it really appears just looking at the plan. So this is where a site visit is worth about word. But the plan is simply to reconfigure a mudroom and bathroom on the first floor and add a studio space, and then on the second floor to put a slightly larger bedroom in place of an existing bedroom. That's really kind of standard. Not for the current kids, but for grandkids. Because the same kids who grew up in this house and managed to cope with the small bedroom just fine. now that they're grandkids.
And they're older and they want peace and quiet.
Something like that.
Put them in the addition.
So that is the proposal down there.
And you've all seen the drawings. Okay. Any
Warren.
questions for Warren at this point?
Warren said it's a typical Rhinebeck development,
Yeah.
and it's a typical Rhinecliff procedure that's required.
Yeah.
Right.
The application is very complete, and most importantly, the existing dwelling with the addition is well below the maximum height standards, as well as the maximum square footage standards for the district. So,
And stylistically, it fits nicely, so. Okay.
and Warren has submitted all the necessary paperwork. So there's a typical Rhinecliff resolution for you.
With which I will now embark. The Town of Rhinebeck Planning Board hereby acts as follows on the April 15, 2015 applications by Lorna and Thomas Cynthia Bear for special use permit and site plan approval.
Now, get rid of Cynthia Bear. That's
Yeah, I was going to say, what's Cynthia doing in here?
it says something about a template
Okay.
in that opening paragraph.
Special use permit and site plan approval under Town Code Chapter 125 zoning to authorize a proposed 445 square foot addition to an 853 square foot single-family dwelling in the Rhinecliff Hamlet and Rhinecliff Overlay Districts, the LWRA, and the Hudson River National Historic Landmarks, as depicted on Site Plan C1, floor plans SK1 and 2, elevations A3, and perspectives P1 and P2. All is prepared by Warren Temple Smith Architects, LLC, and supporting documentation, including a coastal assessment form prepared by the project architect and a full AEF Part 1 certified by the applicant. 1. Waives the conduct of a separate sketch plan conference before the planning board and accepts the application at this time as adequate for planning board consultant and public review. 2. Classifies the proposed action as described in the applications as a type 1 action under seeker for which coordinated environmental quality review is required. Determines the planning board to be the only agency with a discretionary permit and or approval jurisdiction with respect to the proposed action and therefore declares itself to be seeker lead agency. 4. In its role as leaker seed agency, refers the application, including copies of both the cited drawings by the project architect and the full EAF Part 1, to both the town historian and the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historical Preservation Field Service Bureau for review and comment. Delegates members, me, and who wants to go with me? Jesse. I think we got everyone to do something this time. To conduct a field visit to the project site and report their observations at the time of public hearing. Refers the applications to the Town Conservation Advisory Board for review and comment. Reviews the applications, including the supporting coastal assessment form, to the Town Waterfront Advisory Committee under Town Code Chapter 118 for review and report as to consistency with town coastal policies. 8. Refers the applications to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development for review and advisory opinion pursuant to Section 239 of the General Municipal Law. 9. Schedules a combined public hearing on the applications for Monday, June 3rd, 2013 at 7:05 p.m. and directs the clerk to provide or otherwise cause notice and posting thereof pursuant to the requirements set forth within Town Code Chapter 125 zoning. 10. Due to the limited nature of the residential project subject of these applications and without prejudice to the planning board's consideration of any input received prior to or at the public hearing, authorizes the planning consultant to prepare working drafts of a EAF Part 2 negative declaration under seeker and conditional approvals resolution for review and consideration by the board when and if timely. Could I hear a motion to approve? Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. We'll get in touch about setting up a site visit, and we'll get the CAB also to accompany us. According to my agenda, we have come to the end of the road. Does anyone have anything they wish to burden us with further?
Joan, no referrals from the ZBA or anything of that sort? Okay.
Well, all right then, Woody.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned at 7:35.